result of a severe humanitarian situation, and I have emphasized the importance of immediate and unconditional release of all Israeli hostages. It is paramount to ensure the delivery of humanitarian aid in line with international humanitarian law. When it comes to the future of the Middle East, Croatian government believes that the dialogue and the two-state solution are the only sustainable and just way forward. And Croatia is ready to actively contribute to all processes that lead to establishing a permanent peace and stability in the Middle East. In that regard, I talk to all actors because Croatia wants to contribute to the peace process. Tonight, I will meet in Amman with my Jordan colleague Safadi, and with whom, as well as with the Egypt Minister of Foreign Affairs, I have talked to Bled. After Jordan, we are visiting Syria. One of the issues will be the restoration of INA's oil fields. Central to today's meeting is economic cooperation. Israel has recognized Croatia as attractive and safe investment destination, particularly in the area of renewable energy sources and tourism. It gives me great pleasure to emphasize that Croatia has for years been one of the favorite destinations to Israeli tourists. At the same time, we have been cooperating in agriculture, energy sector, and high-tech. I have also expressed gratitude to Minister Saar and to Israeli government for the support they have been providing to Croatia in its process to OECD accession. You know that Croatia plans to become a member of the OECD in spring next year. I would also like to remind you that Croatia is an active member of the International Holocaust Remembrance Association, which confirms our permanent commitment to preserving the memory of the victims of Holocaust and our commitment to fight anti-Semitism and all forms of racism and discrimination. In that way, not only are we protecting a scientific and historical truth, but we are also protecting fundamental values on which modern democratic societies are based on. Of course, we have also touched upon the processes in the Western Balkans, because this is our immediate surrounding. I would like to take this opportunity to especially thank Minister Saar, dear Gideon, for understanding of an unjust position of Croats in Bosnia and Herzegovina and the need to change the electoral law, something that the Israeli government has publicly communicated. Finally, I would like to emphasize that the visit of Minister Saar is a strong impetus to continue building relations between Croatia and Israel, and it is an important step toward the continuation of our partnership. Thank you. Now I would like to ask the moderator. Thank you, Minister. Now I would like to invite Minister Saar to address the media. cijenimo vaš
and your efforts with regard to the humanitarian situation we discussed, and that was followed by understandings between Israel and the EU on the matter. Relations between Israel and Croatia are valuable for both sides. The Israeli company Teva has an excellent factory to produce medicine in Croatia. Mobileye is an Israeli company and the world leader in autonomous driving. Together with the Parisian company Rimac, is working successfully on a self-driving electric robotaxi. The Israeli company Enlight is a leader in renewable energy. It's also working successfully here, and it wants to invest more in the region. I hope that soon Israel will be able to export natural gas to Croatia. We want to do more. The economic substantial in our relations has yet to be fulfilled. Israel, the startup nation, is a world leader in innovation. We would like to share it with our Croatian friends. Croatia is a beautiful country. Israelis, as the minister said, love to visit here. We want to have more Israelis visit Croatia and more Croatians visit Israel. Minister, we would like to strengthen relations and take them to the next level. Yeah. Israel has been fighting for its existence against radical Islamist terrorism for almost 2 years. Just yesterday, Palestinian terrorists murdered 6 Israelis in a horrific attack in our capital, Jerusalem. They also injured many. These murderers came from just a few miles away from the Palestinian Authority territories to kill Jews. This is the territories to kill Jews. This is the These are the facts. Minister, yesterday's terrorist attack demonstrated the dangers of establishing a Palestinian terror state in the heart of our homeland. But the Palestinian state does not simply threaten Israel's existence. The current initiative to recognize the so-called Palestinian state also harms regional stability. It rewards Hamas for the October 7 massacre. It serves as an incentive for Hamas to continue its war. This initiative will not bring us closer to peace or security. The opposite. It will only destabilize the region. We will be able to achieve progress and a reliable peace process when we will see de-radicalization of the Palestinian society and political system, and then only in a bilateral context we can get closer to peace, to stability, to security in the Middle East, and these things will be determined in the region, and it is important not to disconnect the issue of statehood, which is one of the five final status agreement issues, from the peace itself. Thank you.
Zahvaljujem se ministru Zaru. Ovim sada otvaramo pitanje medija. Prije pitanja molim vas da se Gordan Grlić, Hrvatska televizija, Gideon Saar Kako gledate na Hrvatske vlade u rješavanju sukoba, a kako se postaviti treba inicijatirati više ili više? Za Gideona Saara, kako gledate hrvatske vlade u rješavanju islamsko-palestinskog sukoba, kako će se postaviti u odnosu na inicijativu zapadnih zemalja koje prema priznavanju palestinske države, za ministra Grlić-Radman, također realni instituti u Siriju prije dolaska hrvatskog ministra palestinskih vanjskih poslova. Mislite li da praktično time možete doprinijeti deeskalaciji na tom smislu? Hvala.
Countries like Croatia or Germany or Italy, which is fair, which is engaging fairly with both sides, contributed, for example, to the humanitarian issue in Gaza Strip. More than this, countries who initiated unilateral initiatives, like Spain, like France, and therefore I think that also for the sake of peace, it is very important to continue with this path of countries like Germany, like Italy, like Croatia, which understand that peace will be achieved in a bilateral context and not by decisions in Paris or Madrid. I can assure you that we hear our friends, we take the words into consideration, and we act, of course, accordingly to our interests. But I think that the changes we saw during the last 2 months of the humanitarian situation, more food and medical supply that entered, was also a result of a dialogue. And a dialogue is always the best route to promote issues. And I want to praise those countries. And of course, Croatia is among them, that were not dragged in this French initiative because they understood probably that this is not something that will get us closer to peace, to stability and security. And this is why this dialogue is important. And I know that the Foreign Minister is traveling to the Middle East today, and we will discuss it also in our meeting now. And I believe that when you have a fair approach, you can make things done. When you are only influenced by Hamas propaganda, like the Spanish government, you only cause damages and destabilization in the Middle East.
Hvala na tom pitanju. Ovdje bismo kao primjer uzeli isto recentnu hrvatsku prošlost i borbu Hrvatske za slobodu.
Modern Croatian state saw a number of Croatian victims, citizens who gave their lives, and that's why we are more than appreciative of the fight for sovereignty, territorial integrity, and that's why we have this understanding. We have great understanding when it comes to Ukraine and the Russian aggression against Ukraine, because Croatia once was a victim of aggression. That's why we appreciate every effort that is invested in achieving a permanent solution, peace in the Middle East. We have seen decades of problems there. We are looking for a solution, and the Croatian government advocates the position that we have expressed. So both our president, the prime minister, advocates the two-state solution, which will be the result of agreement and dialogue, and it will be the result of a peaceful process. And peace process which will involve not only countries in the environment, the neighborhood, not only the countries that we believe should lead to peace, such as Israel and Palestine, but also everyone else responsible in this process. We cannot use political lingo and we cannot talk about empty words and no content. We need to have content. We need to have a solution. What is being acknowledged and recognized, and how? We have a very big responsibility when it comes to recognizing and when it comes to leading to a permanent peace. The condemnation of Hamas's terrorist organization. Hamas cannot be the one leading to peace or be a carrier of peace when we know what happened on the 7th of October 2023 when Hamas attacked terrorist attack where innocent civilians, 1,200 of them, died. Do not forget 1,200 victims, plus hostages who are still today subject to humiliation, to cruelty. These are young people. I talked to families of hostages. These are very moving, touching moments. These are young people, 19, 20 years old hostages. There are 48, as I hear, hostages, but apparently only 20 of them are alive. So here it is important to determine, of course, in dialogue, it is important to determine who will be the carrier of a future political solution, also on the Palestinian side. Croatia will invest significant diplomatic and political effort, and that's why my visit to Jordan today and visit to Syria is going into that direction. We talked about it to the minister from Egypt. We had a Palestinian minister here, as you said in your question, reporter. So we are talking to everyone who wants peace, who wants the war to end, and who wants to see the end of innocent victims. So we are investing in peace, into accomplishing peace, and into everything that will contribute to a peaceful life and lives of two countries, one next to another, and two nations, one next to another. And this is what we want to see in the Middle East. Please introduce yourself. HINA, Croatian news agency. You praised Croatian government and its approach. You said that it didn't want to be dragged into French initiative. Please make a comment about what Croatian President Milanovic said, inviting Croatian government to start the process of recognizing Palestinian state. He also said that Israel is performing ethnic cleansing in Gaza. President Milanovic said that it is a criminal clique when it comes to Israeli leadership. Thank you.
I praised indeed several responsible countries and governments which acted responsibly in a responsible manner. I don't think that those governments who are using slogans or serving Hamas propaganda are relevant to the situation in the Middle East. They are not influential in any way. So those countries, and I mentioned also other countries, but I think Croatia is there with Germany, with Italy, with other distinguished states, contribute. I mentioned the humanitarian issue, but also on other issues because they are having a fair and balanced approach. It doesn't mean they agree with us. Sometimes we have conflict over our head. First of all, it's not fair. Croatia or any other country wouldn't like it if it was subject to this kind of things. We don't like it, and it ain't gonna happen. With regard to the things that were said by the president of Croatia and by some others, it is regrettable. I'm sorry that we were attacked in the time we were attacked by radical Islam from all these fronts I mentioned, that we were attacked from verbally by certain politicians in friendly country, but I totally reject the content and remind also that in the past, also Croatia was accused but eventually we know what happened, and we know it was not fair accusations. So remember also that.
Zahvaljujem se ministru i ministrima na njihovom izlaganju. Ovim putem hvala.
You see this building, there is so many opportunities. We will have a lunch here next door.
Very good. Very good.
And
F4?